If you are the eagle, there are going to be little birds around. Don't pay attention to them.
Welcome to Leaders of the West, a podcast for innovators and changemakers. I'm your host, Jessie Jarvis, the founder of the West, and I'm sitting down with agriculturalists, entrepreneurs, executives, and everyone in between with the goal of digging into the strategies, mindsets, and lessons that have been crucial to the success of ag and Western. Whether you're carrying on the next generation of your family's operation, starting something from scratch, or determined to climb up the leadership ladder, we're going to inspire you to continue to dream big, growing not just you, but the future of agriculture and Western as a whole. Let's go. I know we have a number of you listeners who are solo entrepreneurs or you own your own creative or professional business. You don't want a full-time or a part-time job, but you're always on the hunt for new clients and customers. And that's easier said than done, which is why we created the directory. It's a place where entrepreneurs and businesses just like you can be found by those who are looking for your skills and services. Whether you are a photographer, a graphic designer, a business consultant, a marketing agency, a virtual assistant, an event speaker, an event planner, a lawyer, a bookkeeper, an accountant, you can see where I'm going with this, right? As long as you have a business that's based in the ag and Western industries, then you're a fit to be listed on the directory. There's a section where you can tell who you are and what you do. You can share your work portfolio or customer testimonials. You can add the specific platforms and programs that you're a wizard in. Those profiles that we have are really, really robust because we want people to be able to easily search and find what they're looking for, which is YOU. All in all, the directory is a great way to get in front of your ideal customer or client and a new audience that you maybe wouldn't have reached before because they're outside of your inner circle of who can mention your name in those word of mouth recommendations. If you're ready to create your profile on the directory, you can go to ofthewest.co to get started. That is ofthewest.co. You guys will love it. Trust me. Welcome to this week's episode of Leaders of the West. It's hard to believe we're already in March, you guys. I really do feel like last week was January 1st. And I will tell you, January is my least favorite month of the year because it's winter and it's 31 days that actually seems like it's 310 days. And I feel like January never ends. February for me is a pretty easy month because it's only 28 days. So you're 2 weeks in and you're literally halfway through the month. And I really do feel like it blows by, especially for our family because we have so many birthdays, both of our kids, some other family members have birthdays. Obviously there's Valentine's Day in there. So the first 18 days of the month is basically like celebration and party. It's like holiday season all over again. So then on February 18th, I've got basically 10 more days and then it's going to be March 1st. And for me, once I make it through February, I feel like it's all downhill from there. In March, it starts to get a little warmer. The days start to get longer. It's starting to get green out. Like it really is to me, it feels like spring. So now we are in March. Spring is almost here. I am living for it. So today, I've got a little solo episode for you guys, and it's actually about something that happened to me yesterday or something that I saw yesterday that I really related to, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So I had gone into town and I had picked up the kids, and we were headed up to my parents, and I was on the phone with Justin, and he was actually here at the house cleaning up the gutters. And I was on the phone with him, and I was looking out into the horse pasture, which is where we calve out our first calf heifers. And I was looking at this thing, and I was like, gosh, why is there a dog out there? And I kept looking and I was like, wait, that's not big enough to be a dog. What is that? And then I thought, holy cow, that's a bald eagle. And sure enough, it was. And so I went into the house and both of my parents were in there and I told them, I was like, hey, you better look outside. And so they have this big, beautiful window that overlooks their horse pasture and the rest of our valley and then the beginning of the Sawtooth Mountains. And it truly is the most beautiful view. And it's the largest window. I absolutely love that window. But anyways, we all run over to the window and sure enough, there is this bald eagle in the pasture, mousing around. And of course, which we've probably all seen this in life when it comes to a big bird of some kind, whether it's an eagle or a crow or a raven, there were a bunch of other little birds around. Some magpies, some starlings, and they're all antagonizing this eagle who is out there mousing around in the pasture, minding his own business. And this eagle is a big dude. Actually, it could have probably been a female eagle. Did you know that females are larger than males
in the eagle species. Isn't that kind of interesting? Obviously, in most other species of animals, birds, what have you, males are larger than females, but for the eagle, females are larger than males. So, fun fact of the day. Anyways, this is a massive eagle, especially on the ground in comparison to a magpie, a starling, and all these other little birds that I don't know their names because I don't really care for birds. And not long after that, a pickup drove by and it scared the eagle off, which was kind of a bummer because we got so much enjoyment out of just watching it. Because again, an eagle is the American icon, and it's not often that you really do just get to watch them in their natural habitat, if you will, aside from when they're sitting up in a tree. So after this eagle left, I was still looking around for it. And about 10 minutes later, I saw a bunch of those little birds flying around. And I thought to myself, I bet because I know that little birds always try to antagonize the big bird, that if I look hard enough, I'm going to find that eagle. And sure enough, I did. And again, whether that eagle was flying around or he was mousing down on the ground, he was not concerned with all of those other annoying little birds around him. He is out there, he or she, I should say, they are worried about themselves. They are looking for the next tree that they're going to take roost in. They are looking for the next mouse they're going to eat. He or she, can I just say he? I'm just going to say he. We're not going to get offended if it was a girl. But point being, that eagle is not worried about those other pesky little birds who are out there just trying to be ignorant. He's not bothered by their presence or their opinion. Now, if the eagle was out there picking on another bird, then more power to those little birds for really banding together and sticking it to the man, right? Because we as people, we want to band together, especially when the big guy is going to go out there and pick on the little guy. But I know for a fact that we have all seen this in life before, where this big bird is flying by, not bothering anything else, and all these other little birds are flying around it, picking along at it. And in this specific scenario, those little birds are absolutely the problem. So the whole reason that I tell you guys this story and that I'm fascinated by this is because I think that it proves two important life lessons in this. The first being, if you are the eagle, there are going to be little birds around. Don't pay attention to them. The more you pay attention to them, the more power you're giving them, the less you are focused on yourself, the less you are focused on running your own race or building your own business, whatever it is that you're doing. And I think of this in the relation to that saying of don't take criticism from people you wouldn't take advice from. We all have pesky birds in our life that tell us that we should be doing things differently, or they're judging us, or they're talking about us or behind our back, or whatever it is. And, maybe it's friends, maybe it's family, maybe it's the mom group of your 4-H kids or your kids' basketball team, or whatever it may be, whoever it may be. Quit worrying about what they're saying. If you wouldn't actually seek advice from that person, if you are having a problem and you wouldn't think to yourself, well, I'm going to go ask Sally what she would do in this situation, then who the heck cares what Sally thinks about what you're doing in that specific situation? Again, as long as you are not being the eagle who is going around picking on the other little birds, right? Because we don't want to be the type of people who are picking on others, because then we do need to worry about what others are thinking. But if you are out there minding your own business, passionate about whatever it is that you're fighting for or that you are involved in or building, whatever race you're running, don't worry about the presence or opinions of those other little birds that are in your life. They are there and they are present for all of us, myself included, I'm sure. And I don't worry about them. I don't think about them. I don't give them attention because they don't need my attention. If I give them my attention, one, that's less attention that I'm giving to the thing that I want to build or the thing that I want to do or how I want to grow as a person. And two, I'm giving them my power. And why would I ever give them my power if they're not saying nice things about me, or they're not being supportive, or they're not cheering me on? I am going to give power to people who are cheering me on, who I want to cheer on, who are being my biggest supporters and my biggest cheerleaders. That is who I'm going to pour into and give back to, not the other little birds that are flying around telling me how I should be living my life or what I should be doing when they aren't people who I would seek advice from in the first place. So that is lesson number 1 from this bald eagle scenario. Lesson number 2, don't be the little bird. Quit crapping on people who are successful or who are out there doing their own thing. if they are staying in their own lane, if they're not being the big bird who's picking on a bunch of other little birds, be the person who raises them up and cheers for them. But nobody wants to have the little bird around. And again, I know we have all visually seen this. So picture yourself as that annoying little bird that is pestering the eagle or the raven or the crow or whatever it is as they're flying around minding their own business. Is that a good look for you? No, it's absolutely not. None of us should ever aspire to be the little bird. Who knew that seeing a bald eagle, the icon of America, would lead to a podcast episode? But here we are, because I really did in that moment think, man, this is one of those lessons in life that I am so lucky to be able to witness, because I know so many other people in life aren't able to witness things like having a bald eagle in what is basically my parents' front yard. And just being able to see that play out in real time and knowing that there are plenty of human situations that we all find ourselves in or even put ourselves in, whether we realize it or not. And I hope that this was something that was helpful for you guys or beneficial for you. It's definitely one that I'm not going to forget. It obviously touched me enough to want to tell you guys about it. So you guys are the Eagles. I know you are. You are the biggest. You are the baddest. Keep on going. Keep pushing. Keep crushing it. Whatever it is that you are after, I encourage you. I applaud you. I know it's not easy, but keep moving forward. Thank you guys so much for being here. You will find a brand new episode of Leaders of the West right back here next week. We have got an awesome guest lined up. You are not going to want to miss it, so stay tuned.
If you loved this episode, do us a favor and share it with someone else who might find just as much value in it as you did. We're on a mission to continue to grow and strengthen the future of agriculture and Western industries, and you spreading the word helps us make more of a positive impact. It also makes a big difference when you take a minute to go rate and review the show. We can't thank you enough for listening, for sharing, and for loving Ag and Western as much as we do. We'll see you back here for our next episode.